Can I beat Borderlands 4 without dying a single time? Probably, yeah. I have no idea because this was actually my first playthrough. That's right, I probably should have beaten the game and actually learned what I was doing before trying to do a probably incredibly difficult challenge, but I decided not to do that. I'm also not going to be looking up any builds or anything until after the first attempt. The rules are simple, and they're in the description of the video, so let's just jump into it. I started my adventure by picking Vex the Siren. She has a lot of summons and lifesteal abilities, which should make her a pretty good choice. The other three might be better. I have no idea. I didn't look at their abilities at all. I actually have no idea what they can do. I skipped the cutscene, so I don't really know what's going on, but I think I got a mind control thing shoved in my head, and I'm being rescued by this guy RJ. He seems like a pretty cool dude. He's helping me out and delivering exposition and tutorials in a way that doesn't make my ears bleed. That's a pretty big win, considering I'm probably going to be playing through this part a lot. I went ahead and opened up my sponsored by Ubisoft loot crate to get my pay-to-win SMG. You see, I pre-ordered the game because I'm a real fan. And to show their gratitude, Gearbox gave me a legendary SMG that I'll use for about 5 minutes and performance issues that not even 4 optimization patches within 2 weeks of release can fix. You might notice that the attempt counter says 1.5 instead of 1, and that's because the biggest challenge of the run was getting the game to run. The game actually ran just fine on my computer, but for some reason, when I tried to record, it looked like this. OBS absolutely despised the fact that the game existed. For comparison, I streamed and recorded Doom the Dark Ages at max settings with no issues. But I have yet to encounter a problem in life that couldn't be solved by throwing money at it, mostly because I haven't had enough money to test it, but it did solve this one. I bought a new graphics card, slapped that bitch in, and the game ran pretty okay. Some people were worried that the game was going to cost $80, but little did we know the real cost of the game wasn't the price tag. Because those early recordings were so bad, I decided to just start over. But since the first attempt technically never died, I'm calling this attempt 1.5. I only made it like an hour into the game, so it shouldn't matter that much. After very easily killing some of the timekeeper's henchmen, yeah, we'll get to him later, RJ gave me a stim pack which I can use to heal myself if I need to avoid dying. RJ, I can't believe you would have so little faith that you think I'm even gonna take damage for the rest of this run. You're 100% correct. I need the stim pack. Multiple, if I'm being honest. Thank you. I love you. Someone in chat said RJ is absolutely either going to betray us or die, and yeah, probably. Anyway, after a few more less than difficult encounters, I made it to the first boss, the Warden. You know, out of all the first bosses, Nine Toes, Knuckle Dragger, Flame Knuckle, Shiv, and Ribula probably counts too, this guy definitely has the most going on. I actually managed to almost die, which you could say was a direct result of me not paying attention half the time, but this game kinda looks like Borderlands 3, so I'm conditioned to think I don't need to try. The real biggest threat in this fight was the fact that RJ got fucking bodied in that cutscene I skipped, so I didn't have him there helping me, but that was also my biggest advantage. I was fighting to save my new best friend. Also, I had the pay-to-win gun. That definitely made this a little easy. I managed to kill him without even dying a little, and I rescued RJ. Fuck. Well, we called it, I guess. That happened a little sooner than I was expecting. Well, everything blew up and I woke up on the beach to the beautiful sound of Claptrap's voice. Luckily, he's not in the game for too long, but his exposition is definitely making me nostalgic for when RJ was here. He had me clear out a small group of bandits for reasons that he probably explained, and this fight will show off exactly why I picked Vex. I can summon minions that'll fight for me. It's pretty hard to die when the enemies aren't even fighting me, especially when those enemies are dead because the summons are kind of strong. I killed all the bandits, but the elevator was broken, so I had to go get the greatest invention of all time. I went to a Ripper camp, almost died because I once again forgot this isn't Borderlands 3, and I made it to a random badass psycho who happens to have a name. Things were going pretty not so great until I remembered I pre-ordered this game, and just like that, I had killed possibly the most difficult boss in this game, who I definitely wasn't gonna kill about 3,000 more times by the end of this challenge. challenge. I grabbed the greatest item in this game, found a half-decent SMG, and made my way back to Claptrap. With the glide pack, I was able to make it to the top of the tower and let Claptrap up the elevator so he could electrocute himself to death. Well, he's dead, so I guess it was time to make some new friends. I thought maybe I could be friends with that Splash Zone guy I killed earlier, but he didn't seem too happy about being brought back to life over and over again. I did find a cool shotgun from him though, so it wasn't a complete waste of time. One thing I noticed is that the enemies are scaled to my level, but the boss fights gave me absolutely pitiful XP. If anyone somehow remembers my Wonderlands one life, you'll know I basically just farmed the Zomboss up to a high level before starting most of the game. Apparently, they decided that wasn't something I should be allowed to do, so if I ever need XP, I might have to get creative. I made my way to a town that was getting attacked by the Order and discovered that this Jacob sniper that I found is pretty strong. Well, whenever I learn to aim, it'll be strong, but yeah, that legendary shotgun is never gonna see use as long as Jacob snipers don't fall off. Spoiler alert, they absolutely don't fall off. This may as well have been a Jacob's Allegiance run. It basically turned into that. Okay, I don't like that I stuck him with a bunch of bombs and he decided to run straight at me. I wasn't prepared for that. Well, we cleared out the town and the big face in the sky wasn't too happy about it, but I'm sure that won't be a problem. Oh, what's this guy talking about? He's fucking yapping. I don't want to listen. I'm gonna buy sniper SDUs if I can. Cool. Oh my god, I have so much whatever this is. What am I doing? Where is he? Game, tell me where to go. I wasn't paying attention. Rush is the best boy, and I will do whatever he says forever. He told me to go kill some people, which I already planned on doing, which is why he's the greatest leader of all time. He also told Conway to give me a flying motorcycle. I have no words to describe my love for Rush. I'm just gonna go murder the people that he wants dead. I started off by using a bunch of guns that aren't a Jacob sniper, and the enemies didn't really seem to want to die. I was truly a fool for not realizing that the only guns in this game are Jacob snipers, and everything else is a mistake. I was dealing so much damage that I forgot I had an action skill. Why bother summoning ghosts when I can just turn the enemies into ghosts? Ow. Ow! Whoa! I hated that. Other than one mildly close call, the enemies just kinda let me bully them until I made it to Horus. I had to kill this guy to get the bolt in his brain so we could steal his memories and figure out what the big head in the sky was planning. The pay-to-win gun had fallen off slightly, and for some reason, once again, I forgot I had an action skill. But I clearly wasn't really in any danger. This was just gonna take a little while. Eventually, I remembered, and since I was holding a shock weapon, my specters were shock-flavored. Okay, yep, having 4 guys shoot him instead of just me did a little more damage. It didn't take long to break through his shield, and after that he ripped out his own bolt, removing the timekeeper's control over him. He kept attacking me anyway though, so I don't really know what he accomplished there. He could just hand me the bolt and we'd go our separate ways. Also, if the timekeeper was mind controlling him with the bolt, why did he let him rip out the bolt? It doesn't really make a difference because I killed him anyway, but I really don't understand what just happened at all. I want that apron. No, I need that apron. That apron doesn't exist. Give me 1 second. Okay, it's not an apron, but now it exists. I picked up some tech from the Rippers so Conway can read Horus's brain, and it turns out Soul has been manufacturing a bioweapon. And because of that, I have to meet a lady in the woods. I probably skipped over some context there, but Rush told me to do it, so the reason doesn't matter. I met the lady in the woods. Her name is Zadra. Apparently she's immortal, but I'm calling baloney on that. No one who's been alive for 1,000 years would land on that haircut. Oh, okay, she's gone. Time for plan B, I guess. I had to kill all of the Order forces outside her house before chasing after her because, why are we just letting her get away? Oh, hey, a new sniper. What was I talking about? Anyway, they're keeping Zadra at a meatpacking facility that Conway used to work at before they got replaced by robots. I feel like this is an allegory for something, but I just can't figure out what. I fought my way through a bunch of Order soldiers before realizing all I had to do was walk in a straight line. The next area was only accessible to wild horns. My plan was to get bit by a wild horn and transform into a were-wild horn, but apparently a better plan was to just take a shower and Wildhorn blood. Well, Conway's boring blood plan worked, and thanks to my impressive powers of perception, I was able to avoid falling into the grinder, which allegedly would have instantly killed me. Also, I guess we're just not gonna question the fact that this facility just has a blood shower. Well, I found Zadra in an unlocked room. Are they even trying? We, and by we I mean mostly me, fought through a bunch of Order soldiers so we could get to a room full of even more Order soldiers so we could get to a big outside room with even more Order soldiers. Thanks to this this Jacobs brand sniper rifle. This is starting to sound like a sponsored ad read for Jacobs weapons. It isn't, but it could be. Hey, Wainwright, hit me up. Let's work something out. After killing all the order guys with my Jacobs brand sniper rifle, the budget bunker showed up with the sole purpose of being the most forgettable fight in the game. It just kind of hovered in one place while I unloaded into it. Also, it turns out I had a corrosive weapon. No idea when I got that, but it made the second half of this fight pretty easy. After that, I met up with Zadra in her secret waterfall cave base, and she asked me if the entrance was too obvious. I legitimately got lost on my way here, so to a normal person, yeah, it's probably obvious. While I looted the place, she told me all about what I had to do next. There were 3 major threats that had things that I needed, and I could take them on in whatever order I wanted. But one of them was right next to me, another was kind of far away, and the other was really far away. I barely have object permanence, so I'm just gonna do what everyone else probably also did, and just do whatever mission is closest.
This is the 3rd time the hot singles claiming to be nearby weren't actually.
Alright, I'm helping Rush first. He needs it. I needed to go investigate this bioweapon, and luckily we had Zadra here to tell us that it's probably at the bioweapon factory. What would we do without her? I fought my way inside, and at first I was a little worried about my damage, but then I remembered that this video was an advertisement for the Jacobs Corporation, and yeah, everything was gonna be just fine. I started fighting my way through the facility and had a slightly scary moment. Oh my god, am I dead? Holy shit, that was terrifying. Okay, so note to self, gravity mines will one-shot you. Okay, care about those more. Care about those more than I did. I fought my way through the rest of the facility a little more carefully because it turns out death was around every corner. It actually wasn't really dangerous at all from that point forward. Whoever threw that mine must have just been going for Employee of the Year. After clearing everything out, I met up with Zadra so she could explain all the science stuff while I pretended to listen. We found a wall that was immune to bullets, which was somehow different from all the other bulletproof walls in the game, which is all of them. But yeah, that wall is the locust. Luckily for me, Saul didn't think to make the vents out of the impenetrable armor, so I was able to kill the guards and get access to the locust. I threw a jar at the wall and the wall vanished. So basically, the locust is a swarm of something that destroys organic matter and turns it into this impenetrable armor. Dog, I'm gonna be honest, you could have just stopped at destroying organic matter. That's what all of your enemies are made of. You don't need armor if everyone is dead. Just load it up into a cannon and blasted at him. This is like using a knife to sharpen a stick to stab something. You could have just used the knife. Like, obviously having the armor is better than just having the locust, but surely it would have taken less time to develop if they had just stopped after making the weapon. It's a good thing they portray Soul as a big dumb guy, because otherwise this plan would have been really stupid. It's still pretty stupid, but at least it's in character. Alright, well, I can very easily guess what this boss fight is going to be like. It's going to be a whole lot of me needing to throw things at the boss to make him damageable, isn't it?
The only way to destroy its bioarmor is the locust gas. Toss one of the canisters at it.
Wow, that did a lot of damage.
It's too protected. You need to remove the bioarmor.
I had to remove the bioarmor again? I did.
Good job.
Okay, I think her dialogue might just be a little out of sync. Whoa, okay, don't know what that does, but I'm gonna not get hit by it. That's my big strategy. Well, you know, I was expecting the bioarmor to come back like every 5 seconds, and it didn't, so... Oh, it's based on... Oh, it's based on how much health he has left, not a timer. That makes sense, okay. No, that was fine. Yeah. After killing that thing, Soul sent a ship loaded with the locust into the town. Believe it or not, it was way more effective as a weapon, and I bet they could have used it a long time ago if they didn't bother with the stupid armor thing. I fixed the fast travel so Zadra could show up and hack me into the ship. That is actually what happened. She told me a bunch of science words, which translated into shooting things until the ship blows up, which I was happy to do. The ship crashed nearby, so the plan is to use the locust on that ship to blast a hole in the fortress. So Soul accidentally gave us the only thing that could possibly be used to destroy him. Not Not a smart guy. I know I've been saying they should just use the weapon as a weapon, but to be fair, letting a powerful weapon of mass destruction fall into the hands of your enemies isn't amazing even if it isn't your one true weakness. In this case, it just happens to be his one true weakness. And he didn't put a single failsafe on it. He didn't bother to, like, make it self-destruct in the very likely event that someone gets hacked onto your ship. I'm gonna have to give this evil bad guy plan a Soul is too stupid for his own good out of 10. We made our way to Soul's fortress and started fighting our way to the front gate. I gotta say, it's pretty cool to actually be fighting alongside an army, as opposed to Borderlands 2, where the Crimson Raiders certainly would have been helpful once or twice. I used the locust to destroy the wall, and we made it to a giant, slow-moving elevator. That is never a good thing. Nothing good is ever at the top of a slow-moving elevator. We fought our way through another wave of enemies that were a little scarier than the last, but after the final enemy died, the locust didn't work for some reason. Rush said he was gonna have to blow up the whole container manually as a self-sacrifice for some reason. I still hadn't gotten over RJ, so I was not ready for my new best friend to die. Oh my god, no. I can't handle this again, Randy. Why are you doing this? Son of a bitch.
Emergency fast travel complete.
Oh.
Got him, Vault Hunter.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess he's fine then. Yep, Rush is completely fine. This game is playing games with my heart, and I ain't having it. I refuse to get emotionally attached to anyone else in this game ever again. I made my way through the facility, and none of Soul's men stood a chance against the smoking end of my several Jacobs firearms. But they weren't the threat. No, I can get shot and stabbed all day. The real threat was this. Well, I hate this.
And buy you time to take down Saul.
I just did not press a single button in there. I grappled and then let Jesus take the wheel. Where do I go now? What? Cannot find path. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm not 100% sure what's going on here. Yeah, so apparently they decided it'd be super cool and fun to have large portions of the game require you to do platforming over death pits. Now, for a normal person, that might be a problem, but I've done enough One Lifes in the pre-sequel to be completely immune to cliffs. Well, after fighting through one last group of enemies that could be called an obstacle in the same way you could call a hallway a maze, I made it to Idolater Soul. Wow, I don't like this guy. I've never disliked someone faster than this. That's crazy. There we go. Now I switch to fire. Because he looks like he's got a fire health bar. That's good. I meant to say flesh. Oh, so far so good, I think. I'm just kind of ignoring the minions. Probably shouldn't. I don't know what that's about. I think I'm on the correct side. Okay, he's back to being immune. Whoa, wow, wow. Okay, I was not in the right side. This is the safety. This is the safe. It's no longer safe. It's no longer safe. Okay. Okay. I understand. I understand the fight now. Where's the... There we go. Okay. I understand the mechanics. And I hate them. Oh, he's got a crit spot. Okay. And he's immune. Fuck. Fuck. Okay. Staying close to the middle is a really good idea. Yeah, that's a really good point. So this is just getting smaller. Well, I don't know what's going on now. Where is the thing? I hear it. Oh, there we go. Wow, that hurts. Oh, come on. It was so close. Holy shit. Oh my god. Saul melted into a pile of goo, and just like that, I collected the first of the 3 things that I needed. The things are the mind control bolts from 3 of the timekeeper's favorites. For some reason, having those will let Zadra hack me into his house or something. The Outbounders were pretty happy about Saul being dead and said they'd help me fight the timekeeper. They can barely help themselves, but I appreciate it, I guess. With the first major bad guy out of the way, it was time to take on the next major bad guy. One of them was twice as far away as the other, so take a wild guess what I did next. Obviously, I farmed Splash Zone, and while testing out a new Jacobs brand sniper rifle, I got to level 15, which meant now I could equip enhancements, whatever that means. Anyway, after bullying Splash Zone for about 20 minutes, I went to the story mission that wasn't unbelievably far away. Like, surely there's a better fast travel spot. Oh, wow. That's just a journey. This is where the GPS told me to go. I don't know what this isn't a road. Echo 4 is on something. Pangolins. Ow. Oh, that was cool. That's when they curl up, they get armor. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I got a legendary shield from Splash Zone that spawns rockets when I kill things. It's a little strong. Wait, safe house. Oh man, I super don't feel like clearing out another safe house though. Nailed it? I feel like these guys just have such flat heads that they're hard to hit. Is that just me? I also feel like it's super not my fault. Okay, well that guy I have no excuse. Uh-oh. Also, why am I here? What am I doing? Oh, it's a safe house. Okay. Because for some reason I decided I care about that. Oh! Wow. Okay. What is this? Oh. Enhancement. So these are just extra things. Okay. Oh, these are like relics. Okay. Okay. So it's just something passive that I don't have to think about too much. Oh, now I'm being told to go this way. Just here? Oh, okay. Sure. I should have known that was there. How silly of me. After that mild distraction, I finally finished my trek through the desert and killed a bunch of rippers to save some guy. Quint? What kind of name is Quint? That's a terrible name. Oh, he looks like a Quint too. More rippers showed up and I fought them off side by side with Quint, meaning he absolutely did not need my help the first time. I think I hate Quint. Unfortunately, he's kind of important because he works for the hot lady from the trailers who apparently really hates the hot guy from the trailers, and also for some reason, she has one of those mind control things that I need. They needed my help to blow up some catapults, even though they absolutely did not need my help. I cleared out some rippers, slapped on those bombs, backed up, and Quint's plan didn't fucking work, which meant we had to go get help from someone who actually knows what they're doing. Unfortunately, Moxie was busy, so we got Zayn's help instead. He led me down under the bar to meet someone named Sophia. Is Sophia a thresher? I feel like Sophia's like a giant monster. That's a cage. Oh, Jesus. Zayn, I have lost all trust that I had for you, which wasn't a lot to begin with, I'll be honest. I will not get emotionally attached to Sophia. I don't care what happens, I refuse to care. We destroy the catapults by putting a teddy bear that's probably Balex on them and letting Sophia play fetch. I gotta be honest, I should have had more faith in Zayn. This plan couldn't be better. I started clearing out the rippers around the next catapult when this happened. Fuck. Okay. Man, those centripetal enemies really don't fuck around. We destroyed the last 2 catapults, and then the Ripper Queen murdered Sophia. But I said I wouldn't get emotionally attached, and I meant it. Apparently, Zayn was a little emotionally attached to her, though, because when I was moonlighting as an electrician, which happens at least once in every Borderlands game, I swear, he snuck off to go murder Callus himself. Problem solved, I guess. Zayn saved the universe from the Calypso twins. I'm pretty confident he can handle a lady whose powers are having half a brain and being prone to rust. Levain disagreed though, so I was off to join him on his murder quest. Not that I would ever complain about having an excuse to listen to Zayn talk about literally anything forever. The mission immediately turned into me saving Quint again. Alright, I'll complain. I immediately abandoned Quint and went to a Ripper camp that Zayn probably went to, but I needed a password to get in. I tried to tell Quint about it, but the comms weren't working anymore, so I couldn't talk to him at all. Oh no, what a nightmare. On the way to do the password mission, I noticed something that was slightly concerning. Why is that guy level 20? Hang on. Is it suddenly possible to be underleveled? Was that an option all along and I just didn't know? Uh-oh. Man, this guy just can't fight me. I just have the phase lock grenade. That's not okay. Okay, no, these guys are definitely level 18. I'm thinking I might need to go, farm, I forgot his name again. Slapstone, that's the one. What level are my things? That's the important question. Low? Really low. Oh my god, how am I still using this? And low. Okay. Well, the enemies are over-leveled now, and my items are horribly under-leveled, but that's probably fine. I'm gonna ignore that. I went ahead and found the password anyway. There were 2 parts to the password, each guarded by an enemy that was slightly stronger than a normal enemy. The first part was Honk Shoe, and the second part was Me Me Me. Comedy gold. Before moving on to what was clearly about to be a massive boss fight, I decided that my underleveled items might actually be a bit of a problem. So I went back to my best friend Splash Zone. He has consistently been 2 levels under me, but for some reason the items he drops are still my level. I did say earlier that he's a terrible source of XP, but honestly the overleveled enemies were barely a problem. All I needed was some new high quality Jacobs brand firearms and I'd be good. I threw on a shotgun for good measure, and this build was officially sponsored by Wainwright personally. I went back to the desert, used the password to get inside, found Zayn, and we discovered that Callus has been turning people into rippers against their will. Yeah, turns out she's crazy. I know, that's news. You know, to someone, probably. Oh, also, apparently she's gonna remove Quinn's bolt, which will kill him for some reason, so the stakes have never been lower. I ran in, and oh man, earlier when I said this was clearly gonna be a massive boss fight, I was a little less than correct. I found him. Well, I feel like I got this guy pretty figured out. You know, shoot him and he dies. Wow. After killing that guy who was really trying to take the title of most forgettable boss from someone, I was given the option to either save Quint or let him die. Now, don't get me wrong, every fiber of my being wanted to let that dumb son of a bitch die, but I didn't know what would happen if I did, so I begrudgingly saved him. I found out later that it doesn't actually change anything if he dies, so yeah, never again. Callus shot some rocket cables at the moon because apparently the whole reason she needed her bolt back in the first place was because it would somehow let her escape Kairos. Wait, you're telling me Callus's whole plan is to just leave? To fuck off? She just wants to go to the moon? Okay, go for it. Why are we fighting? Like, yeah, she needs her bolt to do that for some reason, and I also need her bolt, but I'll give it back. Just let me use it to kill the timekeeper, and then you can go do your moon things. Better yet, just go to the moon and throw the bolt down to me. I'll catch it. That wouldn't even be the most ridiculous thing that's happened in these games. I don't give a shit if she goes to the moon. That's the most reasonable motivation of all time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give Callus's evil bad guy plan a "if you didn't kill Sophia, you wouldn't even be a bad guy" out of 10. Well, I needed to kill her, so I met up with Zayn, who had an idea to get me across the gap to Callus's domicile. He thinks that this boost pad is strong enough to launch me all the way, but seeing as he also thought this tiny-ass explosion would clear those rocks, I don't really trust his judgment right now. The game even gives me the option to not trust his judgment. I'm not hurling myself over any cliffs today, sir. I've learned that lesson far too many times. Well, not yet. Anyway, I'm gonna grab Zayn a thing to make the ramp more powerful and then hurl myself over the cliff. There was a sci-fi sounding thing on this Mad Max looking thing, so I killed a guy who had a thing that let me get the thing. If that stellar commentary somehow made this mission sound boring and lame, no, of course not. With the now perfectly safe ramp set up, I launched myself over the cliff and I didn't die. But all of the enemies over here are level 22 or 23. So I've come to a conclusion. I might be underleveled. Yeah, I'm gonna back up. And by backup, I mean leave. But problem, I don't have a fast travel? Oh god, my nearest fast travel's here. So I decided my disdain for moderately long drives overshadowed my fear of death. And I very slowly played this game like a tactical shooter with my Jacobs brand firearm, surprisingly easily killing my way through the enemies. And before too long, I finally found a fast travel station and I got out of there. A lot of people have told me that when enemies start to be over leveled, it doesn't actually have anything to do with your level. It's the game telling you that you haven't done enough side content. So you gotta do some side quests and clear some safe houses, and the enemies will actually scale down to you. If you've watched my videos for a while, you'll know that I'd rather eat my own ass than do a single goddamn side quest, so I decided to put it to the test. What do you do if the story content is over-leveled? More story content! It's a non-linear story, bitch. I went to the snow place and all of the enemies were my level again. Hopefully, if I progress through this section a bit, I can level up and then go back to Callus and the enemies will be my level. Or they'll still be 4 levels over my new level and I'll have to go do some side quests. We'll just have to see. I made it to a town of people whose names are their personality traits, which is really convenient because I know at a glance how I'm gonna feel about them. Joyless and cautious. I feel like I don't like these people. They told me to kick rocks and go find some guy who got exiled for not being a fucking nerd. Alright, so there's one very obvious physical trait about this guy that I can make a lot of jokes about, but I'm not going to, okay? That'd be lazy. I'm not gonna make any jokes about him being old. Short, on the other hand, oh, I got a million. He let me into an old mine to, so I could, oh wow, no, I genuinely don't remember. Well, I'm sure if I kill enough of these order guys, I'll figure it out. After a while, I found this thing. No wonder Calder needed me to do this for him. He wouldn't have been able to reach this guy. I don't care for that one bit. Youch. Okay, those hurt. Those hurt. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, everything hurts. Everything hurts. No stim pack yet. Oh, that was... I was gonna say close. Close is no longer the word. What is happening? Oh, I'm dead. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm not gonna take those out. Those are my fucking lifeblood right there. That are very quickly drifting towards me. So the green stuff on the ground is acid, isn't it? I've just been walking through acid this entire time. I'm so good at video games. Yeah, it's crazy how much not damage I'm taking now that I stopped walking in the acid. Well, that was pretty easy. Honestly, wasn't concerned for a second. Well, after the scariest fight in the game, I found a thing that started talking to me. Apparently, that thing is the reason we came here. I leveled up a few times, so it was time to go back to Callus. Despite not doing a single side quest, all of the enemies were still level 21, 22, or 23. I did find like 2 safe houses in the snow area, so I guess that's all it took. I made my way to the moon called Throne. I get it, cause she says she's called to the moon. Ripper-infested junkyard would have been more accurate. You'd think these guys are allergic to vacuuming. Also, moon called Throne, more like moon called OSHA. Look at these pipes. There's no way those are compliant. They are surprisingly good about having handrails, though. That's good. Anyway, I was just fighting through rippers. It wasn't that hard. I did have one mildly scary moment, but that was it. I went through the sketchiest boss room entrance of all time, and I made it to Callus.
You feel the end approaching?
Wow, really just coming out the gate with the those guys. Gotcha. Okay. Big AoE fire attack. Oh, and they come back. Good to know. First invincibility phase should be started. That does a decent bit of damage. No, okay, half health, but no invincibility. Whoa! Oh, dude, Brick prepared me for this one. Dodge the mortars. Fucking easy. Easy game. Uh-oh. Whoa, that's bombs. Okay, on to fire. Okay, on to invincibility phase. I don't know what's happening. Guess I should... Oh, she's back. Youch. I'm really glad I put points into the lifesteal on non-elemental damage. Man, her health bar is a lot more health than her not health bar. It's crazy that that sentence made sense. Probably not, actually. Alright, I'm just gonna flamethrower the rest of the way. Oh, there's enemies now. Why is that a badass? Why? She just casually summons badasses? That's not allowed. Ow. Well, all things considered, that was actually not that bad. That was a pretty cool fight, though. Pretty easy. And just like that, I killed the second of the 3 bolt holders. It feels a little weird that Zayn wasn't here to help. Obviously, I didn't need him, but she killed Sophia. He went on his whole murder quest and then what, he just stopped? Left it up to me? I don't know. I feel like he deserved some revenge for that one, but she's dead. I guess that's what matters. Time to go back to the snow place. Now that I have the thing that I found, they actually want to help. What does this thing do? Well, it makes them want to help. That's about as far as it goes. The first thing they did to help was tell me to go find someone else to help. All right then. After running through some of the most terrifying jumps in the game, I made it to someone who could actually help. I walked around what was left of Sanctuary, which felt weirdly empty without having Lilith constantly yapping in my ear. But having Amara yap in my ear was close enough, I guess. She led me to Lictor's Iridium factory where he was using Iridium for something, probably. Look, I can explain whatever weird shit Lictor is doing, or I can keep this video under an hour long. Up to you. Oh, you want the explanation? Well, you got it. So we're gonna have to start a couple thousand years before the events of Borderlands 1, where the Iridium... And Lictor knows that Iridium is the key to the space magic dimension. Now that we all fully understand Lictor's motivation and plan, let's continue the video game. We went back to the Snow People because at some point during that mission, Amara figured out that Lictor is probably holding Lilith prisoner. We asked Calder if he knows where that might be happening, and he does. Lictor's most evilest evils happen at a place called the Black Site. And if you want to know just how evil he is, he made a talking plant. Oh, hey, it's Tim. Yep, nope, hate this. Get me away from them. You know what? Yeah, Amara's got this. Amara's got this under control. Go for that. Go for that guy. Wow. Jesus Christ. Those flowers just one-shot me. That's not okay. Can I shoot them? Okay, but I can shoot them out of the sky. That's, at least there's that. Yeah, Tim's a little bastard, man, and I don't care for him. Not one bit. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting Tim the Talking Plant to be the most terrifying creature I've encountered, but with that eldritch being dealt with, we made our way into the Black Site, killed some more creeps, and made it to a control room where we were able to learn all about Lictor's evil plan. Luckily, thanks to me, we already know everything there is to know about it, but then suddenly a random portal opened, which is almost never a good thing. I feel like that's not good. Uh-oh, what kind of health bar is that? I figured it out. Now it's fire. Oh god, it grew back. Oh my god, it just keeps going back! I'm just not doing it fast enough, I guess. I'll use an automatic weapon, that might be better. I suppose it would be if I could hit him. Wait, where? Leg? Okay, yeah, leg crystal. Okay, Sniper gets rid of the crystals real fast, I've discovered. Oh my god, if he does, can he stop moving? Can we put these crystals on a slightly less mobile enemy, please? Oh, come on, so close. We managed to pretty easily kill the crystal guy, and if that guy looked a little unreasonably strong, there's a tiny insignificant detail about them that I didn't know about that makes them a little easier. You see, when you break the crystals, little orbs start flying around. Just destroy those and the crystals won't come back. I did not know that. I wish I knew that, but I know that now and I didn't die, so it's fine. Someone popped out of a portal, and Amara seems to think it's important, but I doubt it is. I guess this does throw off my theory about random portals being a bad thing, since this one was pretty neutral at worst. Alright, I want to talk about Lictor's plan, because there's a detail that's confusing me a little. So Lictor wants to become immortal, and the easiest way to do that was to use Iridium to do space magic in the phase dimension, which we now know from some info at that Black Site would destroy the entire planet, apparently. Yeah, okay, sure. My only question, or I guess the only one of my 30 questions I'm gonna bother asking is, why does the timekeeper like Lictor? I'm under the impression he kinda likes this planet, so why is he just letting this happen? I feel like he could pretty easily just flip the switch on these order guys and make them turn against Lictor and shut the whole operation down. Better yet, you could just use Lictor's bolt to get him to stop, assuming it's still attached to him, which I'm pretty sure it is. Unless the timekeeper didn't know? He saw Lictor hoarding literal tons of iridium and thought that's probably not suspicious. Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to give Lictor's evil bad guy plan the timekeeper definitely could have and should have pulled the plug on this out of 10. We tried and failed to get into Lictor's fortress, so we needed Calder's help again. He was busy trying to convince the two nerds to help, and one of them seemed to be warming up to the idea until, well, now the other one definitely won't want to help. The only thing I'm wondering is, why did he only react after the blade went through her? Wouldn't he have seen the portal open before anyone else since he's sitting back there? Also, this is 2 for 3 on random portals being a bad thing. I just want to throw that out there. Calder did a sick stabby thing and destroyed the portal hand, and also he has a plan to get us into the fortress. We went to a big factory loaded with order soldiers who should probably be fighting the guy about to blow up the planet, and then Bruce showed up. Calder's controlling him, and I love him. Some of the doors in the factory have become impenetrable force walls, but luckily, Bruce has impenetrable force wall destroying powers. Yeah, okay. We made it to another room with a weird random portal in it, which statistically is probably a bad thing. We fought our way through order soldiers, and Bruce exposed some science-looking things for me to shoot. Once I got all of them, the weird portal thing in the middle of the room started acting real fucky, and I got teleported into some cave. I thought I died for a second, but it turns out that portal wasn't actually a bad thing, so I guess that's 2 out of 4 on portals being bad. A bunch of portals opened up, and after jumping through a few of them, I somehow ended up in Lictor's fortress. Bruce was here too. He didn't make it. So the portal teleported me away, but turned Bruce into a puddle. Yeah, I take it back. That's 3 out of 4 on portals being bad. Well, all was not lost, because Calder managed to take Bruce's ability to break through magic walls and put it in a grenade. With that, I was able to break through these weird locks all by myself and make it inside the fortress. I fought through a bunch of order soldiers with my perfectly accurate Jacob's brand fight. Oh, fuck. Me and Amara made it to this big open area with a bunch of platforms overlooking death pits. Do we have to? I threw some Bruce bombs at some force fields, and then 2 more of those vile enemies showed up. The first one wasn't too bad, so I'm sure this is gonna go perfectly fine. Oh, he's over here now. Okay. No. No thanks. I was perfectly fine with you just attacking Amara. I don't know why you decided that wasn't the play anymore. Okay, so that grenade sucks. Okay, need a new plan, Oh, I'm dead. Oh my god, Amara. Oh my fucking god. You know, I don't think I've said anything bad about Amara, but I take it back if I did. Oh my god. I don't think I've ever had a closer call, ever, in any run I've ever done. Okay, I need a different fucking strategy here. Do I have anything? I have a Torgasol rifle. Let's go. Okay. By switching to a gun with splash damage, I was able to destroy all of the crystals at once. Or at least in theory I could have. It didn't work out that way at all. And you know what? I genuinely don't know how I didn't notice the orbs flying around, but after having that near-death experience, brain was not doing brain things. My baser instincts took over, so I wasn't about to analyze the situation. I saw enemy with big gun, and I shot enemy with big gun. Also, I guess Amara decided she had done her part because suddenly she was nowhere to be seen. Eventually, I managed to kill the guy. Oh, purple orbs around them. Okay, I wish I had read that a lot sooner. Well, with that out of the way, we made it to, oh no, Amara. Anyway, I made it to Lictor. Oh, hey, it's Tyrene again. All right, Lictor's limb, I think I understand. He's sending out waves. He's immune to damage unless I hit the crit spot right now. So I can get the limb, second wins. The limbs are easy second wins. I guess I have to jump over that when it comes my way. Oh, they're okay, they're walls like that. They move. Left and right. Gotcha. Let me just slap one of these down. Okay. Phase 1 down. I'm blind. Oh, whoa! He's down here now. Gotcha. That doesn't look good. How far away from that am I supposed to stand? Uh-oh. Well, that was really easy, all things considered. Like, he just didn't have health. Okay. That's the last of the big three. I guess I'm on to the final chapter, question mark?
RJ?
Oh my fucking god.
Lilith. It's her fault.
Yeah, it is her fault. I'm with RJ on this one. Okay, so RJ died and then betrayed us? Yeah, I didn't see that coming. For some reason, he's really angry at Lilith and wants to keep her trapped in the phase dimension. I have absolutely no idea what he's talking about, but if I have to pick between RJ and Lilith, I'm absolutely picking RJ. That being said, how is RJ alive? Let me get this straight. RJ gets stabbed in the chest. Now, I'm no medical professional, but I'm pretty sure that's where he keeps his organs. He should be dead in seconds, even if the cliff didn't get blown up. Which it did, and I am so confident that someone is gonna say, actually the knife is plugging the wound so he wouldn't bleed out. Counterpoint, explosion. Also, I guess Lichter was just hanging around? Yeah, he can make portals. He doesn't have to physically be there, but he still has to know that this is happening, right? And he just does, I guess. Like, he happened to be in the area and decided this freshly stabbed and blown up, somehow not corpse, was the perfect guy for science. I have a few questions. What? How? Why? What? And none of those questions get answered. Well, the mountain people were pretty psyched that Lichter's dead. I'd stick around and celebrate with them, but I don't want to. I went back to Zadra and gave her the bolts so she could do science. She started rambling about how she's the one who invented the mind control bolts, which, you know, that's kind of fucked up. I awkwardly changed the subject, and she said that the bolts can be used to get to the timekeeper, but they aren't gonna help get over the giant wall around the city. Zadra told me that Amara can help with that, but Amara's plan is to go to the moon. I don't see how that's gonna help, but I don't have any ideas, so I guess that's the plan. Obviously, the first step to get to the moon is to farm Splash Zone for more Jacobs brand firearms, but after that, we went to Callus's Ripper-infested junkyard because the plan is to use her sketchy-ass rocket to get to the moon. This was Zayn's plan, wasn't it? I pushed a button, aimed a thing, killed some people, finally something I'm good at. I put Callus's bolt on a thing to activate the rocket, which means she didn't even need to take it with her to the moon. She could have left it here and we didn't have to fight her at all. Another vile enemy showed up, and this time, knowing about the orbs made it a lot easier. Naturally, he was a centripetal vile enemy because the game wants me to lose. With all of that done, the rocket was ready to launch. Naturally, there were a bunch of Rippers hiding on the rocket because it is illegal for things to go smoothly. But having me, Zayn, and Amara working together meant nothing was gonna be able to stop us. Not even RJ. Oh yeah, RJ showed up and promptly got Sparta kicked off the elevator and probably died for good this time. We somehow successfully made it to Elpis, or at least what's left of it. I guess after crashing into Kairos, it was reduced to nothing but crumbling boulders and the most horrendous creations of all time, flying threshers. Why? Just why? I started making my way through some platforming that makes the pre-sequel look like Borderlands 1, and ran into a group of Rippers who apparently have just been up here on the moon for a while. They were fighting some Order soldiers up here, which means the whole plan to come to the moon to escape the timekeeper just wouldn't have worked. I killed the last of them, threw some bombs into an engine, blew up a wall, and made my way through some mildly, extremely terrifying jumps. Oh hey, like BL3. I remember that game.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well. Sure. Yeah, I guess that is the end of attempt 1.5. Of course I died to a cliff on Elpis, too. God, that's so stupid. Well, That sucks. But since I made it through pretty much most of the game, I don't really feel like this is a blind one life anymore. I'm gonna look up some information and see if there are any good builds I could use. Oh. Holy shit. Well, I'm not going to use any of those. I would like to maintain the facade that this game is in any way at least pretending to be difficult. I will say I have a much better understanding of Vex at this point, and I think I could easily beat the game on my second try. And when I say I have a better understanding, I mean that I found out that she has this skill. So I'm going to get that. Well, I suppose I may as well go ahead and start the new game hard mode, obviously, and I am not allowed to skip the prologue because it is possible to die in the prologue. Picking Vex. First things first, I'm going to want to open this and grab that SMG. I don't have any ammo. Okay. This time around, things were gonna go a lot more smoothly. I could feel it. I killed some robots with RJ, paid to win against the warden, 8 batteries, killed Splash Zone for the first and last time. Probably not. I grabbed the greatest invention of all time, and on my way to Rush, I picked up one of these silos which direct you to the vault key fragments. You see, I didn't do any of the vaults in Attempt 1 because they sounded spooky and scary, and they still do, but I found out the reward. The reward is unparalleled, the greatest I've ever seen in my life. For completing the vaults, you get glider upgrades. The first 2 improve your stamina recharge delay and rate, but when you complete all 3, you can dash 4 times instead of 2. I was such a gosh darn fucking fool for skipping them. They are going to be the first thing I do this time around, other than the things that I do before them. So I went ahead and grabbed the first of the 3 fragments for the first of the 3 vaults. Before I could get to the other 2 vaults, I would have to unlock the hot place and the cold place, so I figured I'd go ahead and do that. I killed some robots, met Rush, killed the warden from the prologue again, got another silo, met the vampire lady again, she's gone, got the second vault key fragment, went to the meatpacking place, something probably happened there, I don't remember. And I met up with Zadra in her waterfall cave where she talked to me for about 4 hours, but to summarize what she said, I can go to the desert and the snow places now. Before doing that, I decided I may as well go to the bioweapon factory and kill the bioweapon guy. And after blowing up a ship, the only thing left to do in the grass place was kill Saul. But I was gonna hold off on that. I had a vault to open. I got the last key fragment, found the super hidden vault door, and went on in. This one life wasn't blind anymore, but I still hadn't done any of the vaults yet, so I was definitely a little worried. Oh god, what is this Elden Ring music? Okay, so far not great. What? Hold on, what? No bleed. No, okay, he got bled. Sometimes it feels like my bleed just doesn't exist. Okay, the bleed exists. The bleed exists a lot. Oh god, I can't see. You know what? I guess I don't need to see if everything just stops existing. Good lord. Uh-oh. Wait. Oh, god damn it. Why does it have to have the Torg license part? I guess that's still better, but fuck Torg stickies. Yeah, dude, I really don't like them. Fuck Torg in general? How dare you? Unless you mean literally. Yeah, that's just not good. Ow! Ugh. No, don't reload. Switch to the fucking gun. I'm trying to switch. What the fuck? Why is there a vile enemy here? Wait. This'll actually be good. Didn't expect it, but... Yeah! Oh my god, wait. Oh my god, the Torg stickies absolutely destroy vile enemies. Well, until they don't. Okay, hated that. I made it to the Vault Monster in Septis, ready to use all of my Elden Ring skills to dodge every attack. Wow. That hurt a lot really fast. Did I mention I'm really bad at Elden Ring? It's fine. I just had to learn the patterns first. So far, the pattern was that whenever he attacked, I blocked it with my face. But then I learned that the strategy is to just not stand still. I suddenly knew exactly how to fight this guy. Yeah, so it turns out I have no idea how to fight this guy. Despite the fact that I was perfectly dodging every single attack, I was still taking damage somehow. But that was all about to change, hopefully. Uh-oh. Okay, we're fine. Well, fine is a stretch. Uh-oh. That works. Alright, well, clearly his attacks are physically impossible to avoid, but no boss can possibly stand up to the power of hoping for the best, and also healing so much in between attacks that I can't get killed. And just like that, Inceptus died. That could not have gone smoother. Well, that could have gone a lot smoother, but... did it? Yeah, jokes aside, that fight was fucked. Clearly, I was not ready to take on the other two vaults, so I did some contracts to level up a bit, and then I went to the desert to get the silos and get some easy story missions out of the way. I got the first silo, I saved Quint, I hate Quint, Quint's plan sucks, and you know what, that's enough story for now. I decided to farm these guys, the road birds, because they drop one of the best weapons in the game. Little did I know that these guys are also one of the most dangerous boss fights in the game, and I absolutely should have died, but I got the wombo combo, so it's probably fine. This thing is like a regular Vladoff assault rifle with an underbarrel grenade launcher, but instead of having a secondary firing mode, it just shoots the bullets and the grenades at the same time. To put it in simpler terms, it fucks. Anyway, back to the story. Zayn's plan was good, Sophia died, rip Sophia. Zayn wasn't very happy about it, so I had to do the password thing again. Hang on, how did Zayn get in without a password? Actually, I bet he just guessed it. I wouldn't even be surprised. I went inside, caught up with Zayn, killed Driller Hole. Bet you forgot that guy existed. And while I was looting around, I forgot I was supposed to save Quint, and he died. Oh well. I chased around a big drill, met up with Zayn, and it was at that moment that I came up with a plan that I actually thought of several moments ago, but I think this was the first time I said it out loud. The thing is, I have not fought Idolater Soul yet. Right, I'm on the mission to kill him. Now I'm on the mission to kill Callus. Now I'm going to go fight up to Vile Lictor. Then I'm going to re-gear right before fighting all of them so that I only have to re-gear the one time, because everything leading up to them is pretty easy. And the fights themselves aren't hard, but you do gotta prepare for them, and I'd rather only prepare the once. Edging the bosses? Why'd you have to put it that way? Now, obviously, I left out the part where I do all three vaults first, mostly because I kinda accidentally did the entire desert quest already. But now it was vault time. I found the 3 key fragments and made my way to the second vault. The beginning sections were nearly identical to the first one. Thanks to the wombo combo and my several Jacobs brand firearms, I didn't struggle for a second. Okay, maybe like 1 second. Even the vile enemy in here didn't pose a threat since the wombo combo hits every single body part at once. Naturally, he was a centripetal vile enemy because why not? But before too long, I had killed every enemy and made my way to the boss. As you can see, Radix here is clearly a rock electric type, but is still weak to my shock damage for some reason. Also, you may have noticed I switched to a different action skill. I'm not using minions anymore, I'm using demon mode. Is that actually what it's called? I don't know, that's what I'm calling it. Every time I hit with this magic glowy ball, it reloads my gun so I can keep shooting forever. Is shooting forever actually better than the summons? Not really. It's supposed to be, but the build I'm going for doesn't really start being good until like level 40. In case you're wondering, this is the build I have going right now. If you don't know what any of this means, that's probably fine. But even though my damage wasn't amazing, as long as I could stay alive, I'd be fine. Oh no, that's the opposite of what I said. Oh my god, alright. Home stretch. Yeah, didn't like that. Didn't like that one bit. Oh, stop doing that. Oh, I'm out of ammo. Good, good. Yeah, like I said, my biggest issue really is ammo. Oh, I see his crit spots now. I haven't been hitting them. Well, I super didn't dodge that, but... God damn. Really? Oh, the timing on that was so bad. So Incarnate makes me go back to full health, so that hit exactly at the worst time. Give me a Pango. Okay, I'm second win. Huge. Oh my god, please. Good fucking lord. Oh, a legendary. Hot Slugger. Is that good? Yes. Past me? Yes, that is one of the best items in the game. It's a legendary Jacob's brand firearm that isn't even a dedicated drop for Radix. That was a lucky world drop. Well, after that, I went to the snowy area, found the 3 vault key pieces, and made it to the Vault of Oregano. Things were going even smoother than the other two, especially when I started testing out that shotgun. Jesus Christ, this shotgun's insane. I went through the shield! Yeah, so the Hot Slugger is a little strong. One slight drawback is if I shoot something too close to me, it'll instantly kill me, so I was a little hesitant to use it. I made it to the boss, and after the other 2 vault monsters, I was ready for the fight of my... wait, that's kind of a lot of damage. Also, hang on, rewind for a second. Did his breath weapon just do 200 damage? Did I accidentally set the game to easy baby mode? How is this guy in the same category as Radix? Apparently, the timekeeper made these vault guardians, and I'm pretty sure this was his first attempt. Well, fellas, I think I got this under control. Oh, he's doing fire damage now, that's cute. Oh, it's not cute anymore! Okay, well, the run over to this guy was significantly more difficult than him. But with that guy dead, I got the final glider upgrade, and I was ready to take on anything, starting with a cave in the mountains. The Lictor stuff is the only story that's left before fighting the 3 bolt holders, but it should be pretty easy. I fought some order soldiers. Actually, fought is the wrong word. I bullied some order soldiers until I made it to my favorite boss. I actually really fucking hate this fight. Granted, the first time I did it, I didn't realize that the floor was acid, so that probably didn't help. Alright, so that's that damage compared to this. Yeah, this is better. Now, what about the slugger, though? No, it's the best. It's the best. Ooh, but I don't get overshield with it. Oh yeah, so they added a mechanic called overshield where you get shield over your shield. Not sure why they named it that, but my shield has the ability Siphon, which gives me a chance to gain overshield anytime I deal damage. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but when I use a gun like the Wombo combo, I deal damage kinda often. If that ability sounds a little broken, yeah, but compared to everything else that's broken in this game, it's honestly pretty tame. Well, that went a lot smoother than the first time I did this fight. Turns out not standing in the acid floor makes the fight a little less dangerous. Who knew? I got the relic, presented it dramatically, which means the mountain people are on our side. I still don't know why we need them. We kind of get it done with just Amara and Calder. Speaking of which, I went and met Amara. Before following her to the Iridium factory, I decided to go farm, you guessed it, Horus. He drops an assault rifle that I wanted. It's a legendary Vladov called Aegon's Dream that deals fire and cryo damage. After that, I went to the Iridium factory and I realized a lot of my guns are Vladov now. This build works best with fast shooting weapons, so my Jacob's brand firearms were starting to fall off. They were just, nope, never mind, Jacob's is still the best. I am so sorry I ever doubted you, Wainwright. I shot some rocks, Amara said some siren nonsense, we met up at the black site and we fought Tim. Is Tim the reason I got this gun from Horus? Did I go out of my way to farm a legendary just for one talking plant? You're goddamn right I did, and look at this. It was worth it. We made it to the lore dump room, and that vile enemy sure is a lot easier now that I actually know how to fight it. RJ showed up, and I honestly can't believe we ever thought this was Lilith. The neck is a few feet too short. Come on, Amara. We went outside and I leveled up, which means now if I ever die, I just won't instead. I went to Lictor's substation cannonary. Okay, I know Lictor's supposed to be a big smart guy, but can he put down the thesaurus? Alright, stop trying to sound smart by using big science words. Also, cannonary? Not a word. That's not a real word. Well, Bruce showed up and then immediately died. I made it into the Umbral Foundry. Both of those are real words. Good job, Lictor. A foundry is a metal factory though, so, you know, still not accurate, but at least it's a real word this time. Me and Amara killed the 2 FFYL guys, once again the wombo combo made it pretty easy. Amara got a little surgery done, not great timing on her part, and I made it to Lictor. Actually knowing how this fight works makes it a little easier, which is why I really wish I knew how this fight worked. I thought you had to destroy all 4 arms before you could hurt him. No. But despite Lictor's ability to play mind games and make me fail to understand basic game mechanics, he was still far too weak to capitalize on my confusion. Phase 2 was even easier, especially once I actually learned how to dodge this attack, instead of just hoping Healthgate would save me. It did, but avoiding the damage was probably better. With Lictor dead, I reunited with my best friend RJ, but he was gonna have to wait because I had a robot lady to kill. I made my way to the place with a name that is reasonable, Moon Called Throne. No one's trying to sound smarter than they are with that name. The Rippers really just say things how they are. Is it a bad thing that the characters I relate to most are the ones with brain damage? So anyway, I made it to Callus. With a combination of never reloading and constantly gaining overshield, this fight was a war of attrition, not between her and me, but between her health bar and my attention span. Unironically, Splash Zone puts up more of a fight than this. There was a point where I actually took some damage to my health bar, but that was when she wasn't fighting me, so I feel like that sums it up pretty well. It didn't take long to kill her, and with her dead, the only thing left to do before doing the things I didn't want to do was fight Soul. This was actually one of the harder fights the first time around, so I was a little worried going into this. You might be wondering why I saved the hardest fight for last, and the reason is because I feel like doing the missions in the order Lictor, Callus, Soul is just objectively the wrong order, and it genuinely confused a few people, which is funny to me. Rush exploded but didn't die. I fought my way through Soul's fortress. I did the jumps that aren't all that scary in comparison now that I've seen the nightmare that is the moon, and I made it to Soul. Or Saul. I realize I've been saying it both ways. I don't know which one is right. Wow. Alright, I'm not gonna sit here and act like this is the most insane damage of all time, but good lord. The first time I fought Soul, I was fighting for my life. I genuinely thought it might be the hardest fight in the franchise. This time, I went back and checked. Over half of the fight was me just waiting for him to send some locusts so I could actually keep fighting him. And of course, he didn't even manage to break my shield a single time. This game might not be hard. But with that, I was finally ready to go back to the moon, just as soon as I farmed Splash Zone a few times. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I didn't show any of the Splash Zone farming this time around, but throughout the run, I did go back and farm him roughly 5,000-6,000 times. I got some new gear from him and met up with Amara and Zayn for moon activities. We went to the Ripper-infested junkyard, put some things in some places, pushed some buttons, killed some stowaways, killed RJ, and we were on the moon again. This time, when the cliff broke away, I didn't panic and walk off the side. This was officially the new personal best. After fighting through some more Rippers who were honestly just minding their own business, Amara opened a portal to the space magic dimension, and I did what every Borderlands 3 player fears most. I talked to Lilith. At the end of Borderlands 3, when she teleported the moon, she exerted so much strength that she got stuck in the phase dimension, which is something I said all the way back in June of 2023. Play the clip. Now I know what you're gonna say. Lilith is dead at the end of Borderlands 3, so I should have picked Roland. But she's still alive. She just turned into the moon. There's a difference, probably. So I don't want to hear anyone saying that the writers brought her back to life. She was never dead, alright? Turning into the moon is rarely fatal. Come on, guys. Anyway, Callus is alive, so they brought her back to life, I guess. At least this time, Zayn can get some revenge. Or he's just gonna stay in that bubble. That works too. My overshield was still making surviving kinda not a problem. Oh my god, I'm mortal. I am but a child left out in the cold. The world is filled with dangers and death creeps around every corner. But overall, Moon Callus was pretty easy. More difficult than Callus 1 for sure, but overall not too bad. Lilith teleported us back to Kairos, and the moon rock we were on absolutely obliterated the wall to the timekeeper's city. So I guess Amara was right that going to the moon would solve that problem. Honestly, I was foolish to doubt her. I made my way to the giant boulder crash site, entered the city, which was surprisingly kind of a shithole for the pinnacle of Timekeeper's perfect order, and also just immediately I was underleveled. But honestly, I didn't care. Even when the enemies stopped having levels at all and were just exclamation points, I kept pushing forward. I was so close to the end I could taste victory. I just had to push a little bit further. Could I have left and leveled up? Yeah, but should I have? Absolutely, I actually did a little, but it's like my father always said, never do something correctly at the expense of doing it quickly. Unless it may have been the other way around. Well, either way, it's probably not important. I put down a thing and almost died, so Zadra emergency fast-traveled me away, so I shot her in the chest. Well, the timekeeper mind-controlled me into doing it, but honestly, I wasn't really too attached to her anyway. She is the one that made all of the mind control bolts in the first place, so I can't exactly say I feel bad for her. I will say, it's fitting that the thing that she invented, her greatest regret in life, is the very thing that ended her life. I'm sorry, is that good writing in my Borderlands game? No thank you. Moving on. I kept going, ignoring the fact that the enemies were horrendously overleveled. I fought through them, unloading countless rounds into their unaffected bodies until I made it to the Timekeeper's Sanctum, where all of the enemies were suddenly my level again. Neat. RJ started talking to me, saying that I don't care about the people of Kairos, that I'm just a murder tourist and a bunch of other true things. But I didn't have time to listen to him. I had a Timekeeper to kill and a vault to open, which 100% proves his point, but to be fair, I never disagreed with him. I fought my way through a bunch of Order soldiers who, despite not being overleveled anymore, still weren't really taking that much damage. I am level 37 now, but I never replaced my old guns. It's probably fine. I killed some big spooky ships, and just like that, I made it to the Timekeeper, the final boss. He started monologuing about order, that's kind of his thing. Right off the bat, I was definitely feeling the effects of the underleveled weapons. That health bar was not moving very fast. I'm also not a huge fan of the fact that some of his attacks don't really do that much damage, they just target my eyeballs in real life. But his normal attacks also aren't great. I was not mentally prepared to need to use my free second wind ability 20 seconds into the fight, especially since based on this damage, I was gonna have to avoid dying for a while. That free second wind ability recharges after 2 minutes, so on the plus side, I should get a bare minimum of at least 20 uses out of it before I finally kill this guy. I didn't need a single one of those uses though, as I expertly dodged all of his attacks. It helps that all of his attacks are in the shape of triangles. If he knew that circles are the best shape, he'd be unstoppable. I kept blasting and dodging as I slowly chipped away at his health until eventually I managed to kill him. And just like that, I did it. I beat the game. You know, as long as the Timekeeper doesn't turn into a giant monster. Oh fuck, he turned into a giant monster! Timekeeper Primordial Guardian takes all of the mechanics from Phase 1 and throws them out a window. The only similarity is his absolute obsession with triangles that nearly killed me. All things considered, his attacks were flashy, but he wasn't too bad. The biggest threat was the fact that I kept running out of ammo. Again, that's my own damn fault for not bothering to spend like an hour farming for new gear, but other than that, and the fact that I almost died like 6 times in a row, he was pretty easy. While I finish up this fight, I want to finally talk about the Timekeeper's plan. So basically, he could mind control almost anybody into doing whatever he wanted at any time. Rush, Levain, Calder, he could have made any of them just pull out a gun and shoot me in the chest at any moment, but he just didn't do that. Why not? So I'm gonna have to give the Timekeeper's evil plan a he definitely only lost because he decided to let us win, and that's pretty lame out of 10. And just like that, I killed him. I beat the game for real this time. You know, just as long as no one traps me in the phase while I'm going through this vault door. God damn it.
Maybe Lilith could help.
I don't want to talk to Lilith!
Me neither, RJ. The fight started off pretty well. Despite my pitiful damage, he didn't really have much of a way to damage me. Things were going just fine until I got paralyzed by a weird orb thing right as he started his spinny tornado attack. I only got out of it because I went down and got my free second wind, but just as I was trying to grapple him to break him out of his spin move, oh my god. You know, I didn't think it was possible to die to RJ. I I guess it did matter a little bit that I didn't farm for any new gear, and also that I said this build doesn't really get good until like level 40. You know, it's possible that I did not make good decisions. In fact, it may even be possible that it's a miracle I managed to get as far as I did. That being said, knowing what I know now, I'm confident that if I were to try again, I could beat this. But I mean, come on guys, RJ was the true hero of the story all along, so if anything, this is the canon ending. Not to mention, the credits rolled, so I basically won, right? No, of course not. I can't leave it like this. This would be possibly the funniest and dumbest way to end the video, but there's one pretty big reason that I have to do it again. I have to beat it. So I started a new game. You might notice that I suddenly have a face cam, a timer, and it says attempt 1. Why? Because this is attempt 1. I'll explain later. Oh my god, I don't have a glide pack yet. This game sucks. One thing that people have, by people I specifically mean Jolts, have been doing that I think I agree with is all these pre-order bonuses. The one life should not be pay to win. Get out of here. Alright, time for the most difficult fight of the game. Okay, so going with summons, of course, and then, what do I start with? Honestly, I feel like I open with a summon build and then transition to an incarnate build later. I think just increased gun damage for now is the way. Oh. Yeah, RJ, just give me a second. I'm busy. Yeah, I did a poll last night, and the overwhelming majority of people said that I should just use specializations, so I'm gonna do that. Increased gun damage is definitely... Oh, I can already pick this. When entering Fight for Your Life, all guns are automatically reloaded. Oh, fuck. Okay, cool. This, man, this game is gonna be easy. The plan for today is to just farm contracts in the first area for like 6 hours, and then fight Horus at like level 35. Oh, I don't have a glide pack. I forgot. Oh, I guess Splash Zone is dead. Okay, you know what? I'm going to meet Rush before I do whatever I'm doing. Play the game. That's it. That's the one. Those are the words I was looking for. Ew, why did it default to the worst motorcycle? Here we go. I want the noodle. I didn't equip it. I just looked at it. Oops. All right, well, let's open up this. Huge. All right, it's time for several hours of farming. Oh, let's go. The flashbang of success, also known as leveling up. Yeah, I guess getting same framed in this game is pretty common, which is, I mean, that's why I'm leveling up right off the bat, is so I don't get fucking same framed. It's not even really same frame, but that's just what people call it. Dying as you kill the last enemy. Okay. Oh, okay, good. Gearbox, I need you to never learn how to make cars, because, God, they are funnier. They are funnier the way they are. Is that a Mangler Heart? What? How did a Mangler Heart get here? Oh, shit. That's good. Oh, no, that's bad. No, that's also bad. Oh, there we go. Jacob Sniper. Let's go. The game is won. But yeah, so anyone confused why I'm farming for so much levels early on, this skill exists. Anytime I go into Fight for Your Life, I just get a second wind instead, with a cooldown of 2 minutes, which is not that long of a time. I farmed contracts until I was level 27, and I had the skill Strike Me Down, just as a get-out-of-jail-free card. From here, playing through the story should level me up enough to be around level 40 by the time I beat the game. Or not, I have no idea. Alright. Done farming for XP. Time to respec. Alright, that's the build for now. Let's go fight Horus. That's damage. Let's go. Please? 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 Oh my god. I'm gonna blame the game for that. That wasn't my fault. What's the underbarrel on this? Grenade launcher? It's good. You know what? I definitely could have gotten my action skill fully back. Oh, that's wrong. Hold on. There we go. Hey guys, this game is gonna be easy. Holy mother of God, that was insanely easy. I decided to farm Horus for the Aegon's Dream again, but after an hour and a half of not getting shit from him, I decided that the legendary drop rates in this game are a little too low for a 1 life. I found some good purples and blues, which honestly are just better half the time, so why bother? I mean, look at this shotgun that Horus dropped. With purples like these, who needs legendaries? I started getting the silos because I decided that rushing the vaults before anything else was a good idea. I mean, I still had to do the Zadra stuff first. Did you guys know there's a boss fight at the meatpacking place? I fucking didn't. Oh, okay, it's dead. Well, with that out of the way, it was time to talk to Zadra for 4 hours and then go to the vaults. I'd show you some of the mobbing parts again, but there wouldn't be much to show. I started with Inceptus because I figured he'd be the easiest, and definitely not because he was just physically closest to where I was standing. Wow, just right off the bat fucked up. Yeah, I forgot that I was supposed to, like, pay attention. Okay, I dodged that, but whatever. I dodged early. Ooh, I'm gonna run out of ammo. But I guess if I run out of ammo, I can just switch to summons. That wouldn't be a big deal. Alright, I'm low on ammo, so I'm gonna switch to the summons. Should make this a little better. Yeah, it turns out I ought to get some SDUs. Alright, that wasn't difficult, but it definitely should not have taken that long. I'm just gonna track this mission so it'll give me a good waypoint so I can get to the vault monsters real quick. What? Echo, where do I go? I don't know the path. Not getting a lot of crits on this guy. 15% is a smaller number than I thought. Okay. No big deal. Yeah, so turns out when you actually prepare even a little, these vault monsters aren't that scary. Attempt 2 was really just a shit show, wasn't it? Well, now that I had all the glide pack upgrades, it was time to do what I did last time and beat all 3 storylines up until the final bosses. I threw bugs at a robot and shot it in the face, blew up a spaceship, met Quint who's trying his best, I guess, met Zayn who's barely trying and still doing better than Quint, played fetch with Sophia, rip Sophia, killed some guy who's somehow still less forgettable than the budget bunker, saved myself from Quint, rip Quint, get it? I met Calder and realized that because of his height, his full sprint speed is the same as my normal walk. I fought a giant bird, had the first close call of the run, even though it really wasn't all that close. Met the weird cat lady, chat taught me the move really fast mechanic that definitely isn't gonna launch me off a cliff. Killed Tim, who honestly deserves a big boss health bar more than fucking Driller Hole. Killed a guy who deserves a big boss health bar a lot less than Tim. And just like that, I was done with all 3 quest lines. And I went into Fight for Your Life a grand total of 1 time. Considering I leveled up 7 times through all that, I definitely needed to go back to my best friend Splash Zone. Holy shit, okay, this build is really coming together, I think. I farmed him until I got on-level versions of pretty much all of my gear, which only took like 20 minutes. Which makes attempt 2 even more of an embarrassment. But which also meant it was time to fight the big 3. At first, Saul seemed like he was gonna be pretty easy, but then it turned out he was extremely easy. He gave himself more locust armor in the middle of the fight in an attempt to save himself the embarrassment of dying in seconds, but it didn't really help. Lictor fared a bit better, but only because he kept running away like a bitch. Also, he dropped a legendary Amon class mod, because of course he did. Callus was definitely the most difficult, but only because she got a tiny head and a big body, so it was kinda hard to get crits. But if there's one thing I've learned from this challenge, it's that there's no problem that can't be solved by the smoking end of a Jacob's firearm. Not that there was much of a problem that needed solving, but with that fight out of the way, 2.5 of the bolt holders were dead. After that, I went to the bane of my existence, the moon. To be fair, it went perfectly fine in attempt 2, so I had nothing to worry about. Oh, hello. And that is why I have that ability. Okay, didn't help a whole lot there. Holy shit. Well, that was scary. I didn't like that. Didn't like that one bit. Well, the brutal reminder that I am in fact not immortal was terrifying. but probably for the best. I was in the home stretch now, so I needed to not get too confident. Not when I got the most powerful enemy of all time breathing down my dick. I cannot lose to RJ again. I talked to Lilith. Callus didn't like that. She was almost a problem until she wasn't, and with that, all 3 of the bolt holders were dead. Somehow we were back on Kairos. I skipped the cutscene, and you know damn well I don't remember, but that just meant it was time to fight the timekeeper. The enemies were not brutally overleveled this time, so it seems like the scaling question is actually very simple. Just be roughly level 40, I guess. Naturally, I was scared about the final fight, so I decided to level up a bit and kill Splash Zone one last time. Well, several more times, I guess. I was confident I had this, and after shooting some of these birds, I was even more confident. I easily killed everything standing in my way, and I made it to the timekeeper once again, but this time 100% prepared. I didn't switch to my correct action skill. Well, in that case, I guess we're doing this. I was supposed to crouch, not jump that. It worked out, it's fine. After fighting this guy gearless, I cannot imagine losing this because I just, surely I have learned how to dodge all of his attacks now, right? But not that one. That one's undodgeable, for sure. Where'd he go? Oh, hello. Oh, bye-bye. I feel like this, you know, this could have gone a little smoother. Okay. Yeah, this is ever so slightly better than last time. Man, he just doesn't feel like taking damage in this phase. There we go. That's better. Yep, that one a little smoother than last time. Oh boy, it's my best friend RJ. Yeah, this is what this fight could have been. Switching to summons, switching to corrosion, switching to fire, grabbing his thing off. Wow. That was a little easier than it was last time, wasn't it? Real Siren versus Team of Siren? Oh no. Holy shit. I should have beaten the second try. And just like that, I did it. I made it into the vault with Lilith, who called this the Motherlode. There are 4 chests. Maybe I just don't know what Motherlode means. Okay, yeah, a rich source of something. No, Lilith, Splash Zone has a bigger load than this, okay? Well, we made our way further into the vault to hopefully find more loot, but instead we found this. Oh my god. That's Lilith. Probably from the future, I think. Okay, so one of the biggest complaints in Borderlands 3 was that after every single mission, you had to go talk to Lilith. And the plot of this entire game, the ultimate goal, was to talk to Lilith. That's fucking hilarious. I love this game. Also, what is happening? Is Lilith like Borderlands Jesus now? She's going on about the end of everything and she's the last thing left and war is coming, like what that one thing said 11 years ago. What the hell is she talking about? Does it make sense and I just didn't pay attention? Or does it not make sense and I didn't pay attention? I will say this though, considering the Timekeeper's entire motivation was apparently to keep us from talking to Lilith, I take back what I said earlier. I'm gonna have to give his evil bad guy plan a he was secretly the real hero all along out of 10. And in case you're wondering why I didn't give RJ's evil plan a rating, that's because he's no bad guy. He's my best friend. Also, there's a 0% chance he's actually dead. Mark my words, he's coming back. Either way, I beat the game without dying. Well, I guess now I should explain why this is attempt 1 and there's a timer. For months now, I've been saying that when I get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, I'll once again attempt to beat the entire Borderlands series without dying a single time. My silver play button came in the mail, so this wasn't just attempt 3 of the Borderlands 4 one life. 1 game down, 4 to go. Oh, but one more thing. I don't want anyone to be able to guess that attempt 3 was a success and have the video spoiled just based on how much time is remaining on the video. So just to throw people off, here's a tutorial on how to make mac and cheese. Alright, today I'm gonna be teaching you how to make mac and cheese. Specifically, I'm gonna be making bacon, jalapeno, and chicken mac and cheese because those are the ingredients I have. Now I'm gonna start by making the chicken because that takes the longest to make. I took some chicken from the freezer and put it in the fridge last night so it would defrost. But turns out it didn't. It didn't at all. Alright, so I've got just a solid block of chicken here. I'm gonna put it in a cast iron skillet. Normally I would just bake it on a baking sheet, but considering the ice situation, I feel like a big skillet is better option. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and season up the chicken before putting it in the oven. Since it's frozen, none of the seasonings are gonna stick to it super well, so I'm gonna put some hot sauce on it as a binder. That might seem like a lot, and that's because it is, but that's probably okay. I'm just gonna add in some salt, a little black pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. And I like it a little spicy. I know there's already hot sauce on there, but, you know, I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of cayenne. Just a little bit. Just enough to give it the slightest bit of kick. Now, does it make sense to season frozen chicken? Not at all. Do I care? You're goddamn right I don't. Alright, so the oven's basically preheated. I want to get it to 250. And it's not there yet, but that's probably not an issue. And I'm impatient. So I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken in. I'm going to leave that in at 250 for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to, you know, figure it out from there. Alright, it's been about 20 minutes. The chicken should be more or less defrosted, which means it's time for step 2. So first off, I'm going to increase the oven temperature to 350. First off, I'm just going to pour a bunch of oil. That stripped all of the seasoning. That's crazy. That's fuck. Next up, I'm going to put a little bit of butter on the chicken. Just a little bit. I like to use spreadable butter because, you know, a recipe might call for a couple cups of butter, and when you throw an entire stick of butter in something, that just kind of feels bad no matter what. But with this, I could use so much butter and not even know how much it is. Next up, I'm going to throw in some jalapeno pickle juice. That'll, you know, make it taste real jalapeno and pickly, probably. I'm going to splash a little bit of soy sauce on it because... and finally, a couple splashes of lemon juice. Now you might be thinking, that all seemed pretty fucking random. Just, it looks like you took out everything you had in your fridge and just threw it in there. Yeah. Well, the oven's preheated, so... Fuck. Well, the oven's preheated, so we're gonna put it back in there at 350 for another 20 minutes. Alright, it's been 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and take this chicken out of the oven. Yeah, that super doesn't look done. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Alright, it's been another 10 minutes. Yeah, that looks somewhat better. The next step is to shred this chicken, which I cannot do with one hand, so I'm not going to record it. However, while I'm shredding the chicken, I'm going to go ahead and get the pasta started. So I'm going to get some water, and let's add that there. Get it going to a boil. Alright, I shredded the chicken, and it tastes, you know, it would have been better if I had let it defrost all the way first. But it's fine, it doesn't taste bad, it's just it's not... Yeah, it's a good thing it's going to be covered in just so much cheese. The water is definitely not boiling yet, so I'm actually going to pour a bunch more into a kettle, because that'll start boiling way faster. I actually forgot I was supposed to be making bacon for this too, so I guess I'll go ahead and get that started. I'd give you a bit of a tutorial on the bacon as well as everything else I've done, but if you need help making bacon... you're fucked. Alright, the water in the kettle is boiling, which means it's time to add that to the big pot of water. And that's probably enough for me to go ahead and add the pasta. Now, before you add the pasta to the water, it's important you're going to want to salt the water for taste, whatever that means, and also add in a little oil. No, not doing that with one hand. Okay, I added in the oil. It just, it was not one-handed. Would have been, it would have been a mess. Alright, well now it's time to add the macaroni to the water. Bad news, I don't have any macaroni. I only have peony. So that's what we're going with. 2 pounds of it. That'll be enough for 1 or 2 servings probably. But yeah, so boil that for about 10 minutes, and, I will be, I'll see you in 10 minutes. Alright, well, the bacon's done. I'm going to break that up into bacon bits at some point. Not now. Don't feel like it. Still got another 5 minutes or so on the peony. So, once that's done, we'll start making the sauce. Alright, the peony is all done. Gonna go ahead and strain it real quick. Alright, I strained it out into a colander, and some of you might be thinking, why not just make the sauce while the pasta is boiling? That'd be more efficient. And you would be right, but I own 1 pot. Alright, now first things first, when you're making a cheese sauce, you're going to want to start with a base cream, or in this case, just whole milk. That was 3 cups of milk, or 1 bowl, whichever measurement you prefer. So yeah, 3 cups is going to be, I'm just turning on the heat, a very low heat. Do not cook your milk. It'll burn. Fun fact, milk can burn and it's not pleasant. Yeah, so 3 cups of milk for 2 pounds of pasta worth of cheese sauce is gonna be a thinner, creamier sauce. If you want a thicker sauce, you could use 2 cups. You could also use no cups and just eat the cheese. Alright, now you're gonna want to add some butter to the milk. And for how much, it's just however much it takes for you to go, oh, that was probably too much. So for me, it's about that. Okay, I probably didn't need to use that much. Alright, now you're just gonna mix that around until the butter and milk have fully, melted and mixed together. The butter is melted, not the milk. The milk is probably already there. So yeah, just mash that around. There's still some peony in here, and that's probably gonna get burned to shit, and I just cannot imagine caring. I'm actually gonna turn up the heat just a little. That was a lot. It's fine. Alright, turning the heat back down. It actually melts and mixes in pretty fast. Okay, so yeah, you're going to want to add either flour or cornstarch. Otherwise, the milk and the cheese are not going to mix, and it's just going to be a lump of cheese sitting in some milk. Have I made this mistake before? Obviously not. I'm a professional. But in this case, I'm using cornstarch. You don't have to use as much cornstarch as you would have to use flour. That being said, I didn't fill this up all the way, so I have no fucking clue how much cornstarch that was. And that's probably the right amount. Alright, so you're just going to want to mix that in until there's no more cornstarch lumps, unless you like to eat those, in which case you can leave some of those in. And now, you can add your cheeses. So for me, I'm starting off with a Parmesan base, so this will be kind of Alfredo-y. That may have been a lot. No, that was probably fine. That was like half a pound. That was half a pound. Yeah, half a pound. I'm gonna add 3 more types of cheeses. So yeah, half a pound isn't that much. All right. In addition to the Parmesan, I have some nice Gouda, pepper jack, and that's probably cheddar. Now, an important thing to know is you should never use shredded cheese for mac and cheese because it's for pussies. Was that Parmesan I just added shredded? I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what Parmesan is. So we're just gonna. I probably should have added those one at a time. Yeah, this is gonna take a while to melt. That's good. I'll see you in roughly, I'd say, 4 to 5 business days. All right, I ended up adding a little bit more milk and cornstarch because this is it's not melted all the way yet, but this is way thicker than I was going for. Alright, all of the cheese has been melted and mixed together, which you might think means it's time to add in the pasta. No! You stupid little idiot. It's time for some more seasonings. Gonna add in some garlic powder, some onion powder as well. You might notice these are the same seasonings I used for the chicken. That's because it's all I have. A lot of black pepper. I definitely go heavy on the black pepper. It's hard to have too much, except there is such a thing as too much. Just, this isn't it. I also like to add in a little bit of A little bit of honey mustard just gives it a little bit of a mustardy taste. I'm so fucking good at this. You know, people do like to ask with the seasonings, how much is the right amount? I don't fucking know. I threw in some jalapenos. I would have done it on camera, but it required 2 hands, and I'm not a fucking madman. Now I would say it is roughly time to add the pasta. This is a process that is going to require 2 hands. I am not going to risk spilling all of the pasta all over the place again. I transferred the peony from the colander into the pot. Once I mix this all up and get it all cheesy, I'll add in the chicken and the bacon. All right. Just gonna mix all that in, and oh boy, this is looking tasty. Now, I have heard people who live outside of the United States say that mac and cheese is so much fucking cheese, they don't understand how we could possibly eat it. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to die of a heart attack at 40, and I'm gonna die happy. Alright, and just like that, you're done. Yeah, again, roughly 2 servings of mac and cheese here. You know, you might want to let it sit for a bit so that the peony can absorb the sauce a little more. But yeah, you can pretty much just you know, dig in, grab some and eat it. What is sizzling? All right, let's give it a try. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you like chicken Alfredo, this is literally just that. Well, everyone, I recommend you make this unless you don't like cheese. In which case, definitely don't make this. It's 90% cheese. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer all of them in the comments. Not gonna promise they'll be good answers, but they will be answers. I will now say the names of everyone who's a member of the channel. Patron shoutouts. If you want to see my videos a week in advance and vote on what challenges I do next, the link is in the description. Extra special thanks to Shedder Dude, who is the sole reason people legally have to say, don't try this at home. Tarkus Lives, who invented spearfishing by accident. He just fucking hates the ocean. Rocklead, who goes to movie theaters just to buy snacks and then leaves. Zap Sparky, whose bones are made of wood and skin is made of bark and might just be a tree. Zazie Horn, who made up a currency and uses it to shop everywhere whether the store likes it or not. The One True Jeff, who can lay eggs. We have no idea what kind of eggs because they keep randomly breaking anytime someone jumps on them. Humanity Averse, who accidentally made the first hearing aids by trying and failing horribly to make earplugs. Special thanks to Drac, who's afraid of parrots because of their ability to speak. Zillant, who's afraid of people because of their ability to speak. Bayfire, who wouldn't hurt a fly because it's too easy of a target. Randy Dobson, who's the person at the donut shop that drills all the holes in the middle of the donuts. And Nightfox, who went to the flea market disappointed to not even find a single flea in the market. Thank you again to everyone who supports me on Patreon. You guys help make what I do possible.